I'm not sure if anybody knows what EO is here, but that's how Janma and I met through our EO affiliation. It's a part of Business Owners Group. You need to be a couple of million in revenue to be a part of it. I've been a member of it for over 10 years. I've been awarded Entrepreneur of the Year award. In my legacy company, we grew it up to, I bootstrapped it and I scaled it up to 100 people. We have offices in Florida, China, India, 2 offices in China, 1 office in India. And for this, I won the Entrepreneur of the Year award. Our company has been on Inc. 5000 fastest growing company list a couple times. But it has all been a blessing. All of this will only be possible if I actually had, because I had great people around me. So, and that's what this talk is going to be about. And something that also I'm doing is we are building a crypto bank. That's more interesting. If you want to learn more about it, just hit me up later on. We'll talk more. So what this talk is not. This talk is not about you telling your employees they can work from home. This is not about you telling them you just have to work 3-4 days a week. This is not about just making a kumbaya environment. I totally do not believe in that. You don't need to offer laundry service to your employees. I'll give you an example. Facebook, Apple, Google, they all have amazing employee benefits in the office. They have yoga, they have Pilates, they have literally people coming and singing, bands doing performances, people dropping off laundry. They do all this. Yet, they cannot get their employees to come back to the office. You will read this all in the news in the US. I'm not sure if it's made it to Latin America or not. None of the tech workers actually want to go back to office. So benefits don't really matter that much, right? If you're having challenges, if you find yourself in a conversation with a friend saying that, you know what, interviewing these days, these young kids don't get it. They just want to get promoted soon. They don't want to put in the work. This talk is not about that. If you're facing that problem, you need to source harder. You need to find better people. An age group does not define a work ethic. People want to work. People want to be doing excellent things. It is your job to find them. About 10 years ago, I was part of this young entrepreneur invited to Macy's as part of a workshop so they can teach us how to do business with retail chains. And somehow I found myself in a room with the CEO, Terry Lundgren, and the young cocky kid that I was, I just walk up to him. He's a $29 billion company CEO. He's like the biggest apparel retailer in the world at the time. And me just being a young cocky kid, I just walk up, be like, hey, Terry, what's your number one problem? And he actually thinks about it. He's like, he looks at my badge. It says Ankit. Like, hi, Ankit. Nice to meet you. Very pleasant. He's like, my number one problem is finding the right people. And I couldn't believe it when he said that. I thought he'll say something like Amazon's knocking down my door, or our marketing department's fucking up, or some other, store managers having an issue, or they're not sourcing the right product the right way. He's like, no, it's just the people. Because I was actually going through some hiring challenges at that time. It was just amazing to learn. So this problem is common. Doesn't matter if you're running a $30 billion company, a $30 million company, a $3 million or $300,000 company, right? Even a restaurant is only as successful as the waiters who work there and the chefs who work there. And these people get paid pretty much minimum wage. I want to share a unique story of that nobody really knows about this. I was doing a workshop of learning how to hire great people. It's about top grading. And I had flown in my senior team from all over the world. I had VPs from China, VPs from India, VPs from US. They were all flown into Chicago to top grading headquarters to learn how to interview better, how to hire better. And one of the person I bumped into was a senior VP of recruiting from Amazon over there. And I just got to talking to her. I'm a personable guy, and she starts telling me that, when Amazon acquired Zappos, in case you don't know, Zappos is this company that is all about delivering happiness. Their employees can come dressed as a unicorn, and they have all these big teddy bears in their cubicles, and they give tours of people to their offices. They used to when Tony Hsieh was alive. But they were known for their culture, delivering happiness. It all starts with your employees, right? They had this whole kumbaya attitude. And Amazon acquires Zappos, and Amazon is known for making you work tremendously, pushing hard. They're not the biggest company in the world by accident, right? There are people constantly back to back delivering results, right? And I'm sitting with a senior VP of HR, and we just get to talking. She's like, you know what, Ankit, I was actually involved in the acquisition of Zappos. I'm like, you're kidding me. She's like, no. I was directly sitting with Jeff Bezos, and Jeff goes, Melissa, white gloves. I want you to wear, by the way, Jeff Bezos curses a lot. So I'm gonna tell you exactly what you told me. Whatever the fuck you do, Melissa, do not fuck this up. You don't want any person fired. We are acquiring Zappos. It's a big PR move. It was a big deal for him to buy this company. And he just kept repeating, white fucking gloves. White gloves. Do not fuck this up. Melissa is like, okay, no problem. She's on it, and she goes in. She's like, you know, Ankit, we go into the warehouse. Amazon runs their warehouses, gets you your products within 2 hours, 4 hours, whatever. And Zappos they'll give you overnight delivery for free, right? But she's like, when I walked into the Zappos warehouse, they had a cafeteria which served free food, but nobody ate it. It was nasty. You had all these employees working in the warehouse, and the attrition rate, how often people quit, was 85%. That means every year, 85 out of 100 employees will quit, and new ones will join again. Very standard in warehouse, call centers, this kind of mode. She's like, I go in, we put in the Amazon system, we remove the free food. She's like, it was so nasty that nobody ate it, so we got a cafeteria in, and people just paid $1 for a sandwich, $2 for a salad, something like this. She's like, it was just whatever it costed us, we made sure it was there, but it was food that was eatable, that people liked. She's like, that one. She's like, then we put in an incentive-based system. The more you pick, the harder you work, the more you get paid. And she's like, you won't believe it. The attrition went from 85%. This company, Zappos, which is known for this kumbaya culture, hold your hands, come in, do whatever, no questions asked. The attrition went down to 15%. What that tells you is that people want to work at their workplace. People don't want to have fun. It's all about creating that family environment, but your family is at home. Your family is not at the office. At the office, it's a sports team, and it should be treated as such. But at the same time, the boss needs to look out for their employees, thinking that they are family, right? But they need to be treated like they're sports players. So what are super teams? Super teams, they're just a bunch of overachievers. And if you ever look at their resume, their story from childhood, you will see that consistently, they have always excelled at no matter what they did. Once they were given the opportunity, they always kept crossing, going to the next level, and just delivering back to back, right? You have to pay them. You cannot get a deal. You hire a good person, it costs you 50% more than the industry average, pay them. It will come back 10 times. Don't try to cheapen out. Give them space, let them do their shit. You don't have to babysit them, don't micromanage them. And when they fuck up, and they will fuck up, you have to tell them it's okay. You have to tell them you also made a mistake, and they will make a mistake again. This is not the last one of their mistake. It just happened to me in my office the other day. One of my tops trying accounting, I was calling her about something else. I wasn't calling her top. I'm like, hey, Chandni, it's okay. No big deal, it happens. That was it, and we did not discuss it any further. And inside, by the way, I fucking hated it. On the inside, I completely hated what she did. But I could not tell her because I have to create a safe environment for her, and I know that it's okay, it's mistakes. Even I could have done the same thing. If you have people on your team who are superstars, they deliver back to back, but they do not play well with others, there's a word for them, assholes. Do not tolerate them. And there are books about this and all that, but you really have to know that you have to look out for the energy of the team versus the energy of one person. So here's how you actually do it. I want you to think of doing this as an internet marketing firm. Whoever you want to recruit, right? One, you have to advertise your ad, but don't think it's just putting some dollars in Indeed or something. No. Think exactly the kind of person you want, where they actually go, what kind of data they consume, where are they actually hanging out, and advertise there. Find your traffic where it is and stand in front of it. Think of it as an internet marketing firm. we launched a division of, in my legacy business, we have a division where we manage other people's Amazon businesses, only multi-million dollar accounts. And I had to hire a lot of ex-Amazon, people who knew Amazon, right? And we were in India, and I'm like, I really need people who know Amazon inside out, and they have that inside knowledge, because I wanted to be better than my competition. So I ran a LinkedIn email marketing campaign. I sent an email to each and every employee of Amazon in India, double your paycheck. And I can tell you my inbound was amazing. So you have to get creative, right? Run it like a sales pipeline. This is a book here, Predictable Revenue. It talks about stages and everything, how you keep people in one stage, move on to the next, do an email follow-up, do phone follow-ups. Run it like a sales pipeline, nothing less. That's when you actually build an HR company. You don't need a headhunting firm. They do a bullshit job. Some senior account rep will come and work with you. The person who will find your person, your target employee, will be some low-level employee, the one they pay minimum wage. That's the person who actually finds your thing. And they're just sweeping. They really don't care. Hiring, if that's your biggest problem, it really needs to be in-house. Your biggest asset is a good HR recruiter, and you need to educate that recruiter into running how to run an internet marketing and a sales pipeline. How many of you know top grading? A show of hands. Has anybody heard of top grading? Please Google it. This is what I was talking about. So if you actually see here, the orange and the blue, it shows the person what they were making in what year, when they moved on to the next company, how much were they making. A winner looks like this. They're always growing. Yes, there are exceptions to the rules. Nobody's being, saying that people can't take 2 years off, they can't have a bad year, they were stuck in a bad company, all that is there. But a rule of thumb, pretty generic, 90% of the time, that's how winners look. You have to be very clear in what you want from this position. You truly have to define what a success looks like, meaning what are the deliverables of this person. Top Grading has their own guide for phone screening, their own interview. I would highly recommend looking it up. But in essence, what it really comes down to is just talking to them since their high school years. What did you do? What did you like? What did you not like? Going to college, first job, sequential, in a chronological order, right? Very easy. And you tell them, ask them who their boss was, what their name is. Be like, okay, when I call him, what will he tell me about you? That's called torque, truth serum. You tell them, and you do your reference checks. You don't let people bullshit you. You call their bosses, you ask them, what do you think? Any A player will never ever be shy about giving a reference of their ex-boss. In fact, their ex-boss wants to hire them again. I was gonna write a rap song here, but I thought people might not get it. The rap song by, Ice Cube. It's called Pimpin' Ain't Easy, but it's necessary. Hiring A players is not easy, but it's very, very rewarding. I still struggle with it. We have an amazing team today in my legacy company, in my new company. But, you gotta do the work. You gotta put in the elbow grease. And one thing I did not mention here, you cannot be a C player or a B player and expect an A player to come work for you. You gotta up your own game. A players don't like to work with B players or C players. So you need to raise your own level up and then think about hiring A players to work with you. Any questions? That brings me to the end. Hope this was informational.
Hi. Great talk. How do you ensure the proper incentives in order to ensure that the team can keep going further and further?
So you're talking about incentives in terms of administrative people or salespeople or all of them? Well, it is always a good rule of thumb to find a way to tie everybody to company profitability. Let everybody take a piece. And this is one of the reasons my legacy business can work on its own. They're booking multi-million-dollar sales on their own. They're getting it produced. They're getting it delivered. Because they know with every new milestone they hit, they have automatically a guaranteed bonus that's coming. It is no longer subjective, right? So find a way to tie your team down to your company's profitability. And revenue in some cases, but revenue can go up and people can also lose money. So Try to have a mix of both, because some people profitability doesn't make sense in some department. Thank you, guys.